Today we're talking about Starbase Texas. What's up, y'all? Attorney Tom here. Today's video isn't about an outer space base. It's about Starbase Texas, Elon Musk's new proposed city. And for anybody who might not know, let me catch you up really quick. Elon Musk, the guy who owns SpaceX, a private space company. SpaceX's equivalent of Cape Canaveral, their launch pad, is in Brownsville, Texas. Where's Brownsville? Brownsville is the most southern city in the United States. And SpaceX occupies land in the most southeastern part of the most southern city in the United States. And with recent news that Elon Musk wants to add tens of thousands of jobs around this launch site, he's encouraging individuals to move to Brownsville, Texas. And with SpaceX recent growth, Elon Musk has said that he's going to build around this launch pad and actually create his own city. He said that SpaceX is going to provide tens of thousands of high-skilled, high-paid jobs to the area. But even if you have all the money in the world, which Elon Musk does, and the vision to create a city, you can't just fabricate a city out of nowhere. You have to abide by the government's laws, specifically the state governments. And if only we had a Texas lawyer to discuss who or what hurdles Elon Musk would have in creating his own city in the state of Texas. And that's exactly what I'm going to do here today. I'm going to discuss how an individual can incorporate a municipality under Texas law, the hurdles that he is going to face based off of what I see, and on top of all of that, I'm actually going to Starbase Texas very shortly. I never thought I would actually be a YouTuber. I always made videos just for fun, but I recently got my first ever AdSense paycheck, and I kind of have a job. I'm a lawyer during the day, even though I'm filming this during my lunch break. And I'm investing all the money that I'm making into this channel, back into this channel to do really cool things. We're going to Starbase. There are a lot of interesting, smaller legal issues, such as eminent domain, that I'm going to cover. And yeah, so if you're interested in more about Starbase, I'd ask that you consider subscribing to this channel. The point is always to make content worthy of your time. So let's jump right into it. First question before we answer how somebody makes their own city, let's answer the question why somebody would make their own city. I anticipate because SpaceX regularly has to communicate with the city of Brownsville and Cameron County, the county in which Brownsville is located, because of them launching rockets into space. They have to do a lot of road foreclosures, they have to clear up airspace, all that kind of stuff. I anticipate that Elon Musk wants to build his own city to kind of get another branch of autonomy. But Tom, if Elon Musk creates his own city, that doesn't mean he's some magical dictator. He still has to abide by federal and state and local law. You're absolutely right. But he would likely have people in power of those cities, such as the mayor, commissioners, judges, who are probably pro Elon Musk. And there's a lot of things that he might not have to hassle with, such as petitioning to get a road closed for a certain day, or this or that, because, you know, everybody's just gonna do what Elon Musk says. And this is especially useful as that area around southern Brownsville, what would be Starbase, continues to grow. There's not a lot of infrastructure there now, but as money gets put into the area, as SpaceX starts to build around the area, you can presume that shops, roads, more commercial buildings, residential areas are going to flood the area, and dealing with zoning and all that kind of stuff might be a headache if Elon doesn't have his own city. If he has his own city that can issue permits or zoning permits or whatever it is they want to do, you can just see why somebody would want to have their own city if you're investing your company that is worth hundreds of billions of dollars and pigeonholing it to one particular place. And probably the most important reason as to why he wants to create his own city is funding. Once you reach a certain level, once you become a city, you can actually raise funds through community initiatives, through bonds, through police departments, such as giving traffic tickets, it probably makes the most economic sense to incorporate what would be Starbase so they can raise funds and they can put in infrastructure to the area. So that's why he wants to do this, but how is he going to do this? Well, let's turn to the local government code of Texas, specifically the Municipality Organization Code, Chapter 2. There's 3 types of municipalities somebody can incorporate. And in typical government fashion, they're literally called Type A, Type B, and Type C municipalities. And the very first issue I see Elon Musk running into is this, Section 5.901. And I'm gonna break eye contact with the screen to read it. Section 5.901, territorial requirements for incorporation as general law municipalities. A community may not incorporate as a general law municipality unless it meets the following territorial requirements. 1, a community with fewer than 2,000 inhabitants must not have more than 2 square miles of surface area. 2, a community with 2,001 to 4,099 inhabitants must not have more than 4 square miles of surface area. And 3, a community with 5,001 to 9,099 inhabitants must not have more than 9 miles of surface area. And that might not seem like any big deal, but let's pull up the SpaceX launch pad on a map. As you can see here, the SpaceX launch pad is incredibly far south and east of really any real inhabitable area. There's a tiny neighborhood right across the street from the launch pad, only about 24 or so houses. By the way, this area is very, very interesting. It might be an eminent domain issue. SpaceX is trying to get these individuals to move out by offering to buy their houses for 2 to 3 times the market value of the houses, but a lot of these people don't want to move, understandably. And every time SpaceX does a launch, they have to evacuate the area. They have to conduct surveys and studies if anything goes wrong because it's close to where people live. So I actually don't think Elon Musk or SpaceX wants individuals living in that neighborhood. They want to just wipe it out completely, which means that they want Starbase to be down Highway 4, is it? Boca Chica Highway. But you actually have to drive quite a long way to get to where the proposed city would be, because there's the launch pad and then there's just miles and miles and miles and miles of marsh and protected area, wildlife area. So with all that said, Elon Musk is going to want the larger surface area municipality, which means he's going to need more people, which makes sense from him tweeting, hey, I need people to consider moving down to the area. And if the SpaceX jobs aren't readily available right now, well, he's gonna need at least some people living in that area to incorporate in the first place, probably between 5,000 and 9,999. So that gives you issue 1. Boom, population. And I don't necessarily think this is a long-term problem, but in order to get this thing up and running, you're just gonna need to hit that critical mass. And on top of all of that, it's not just as easy as having enough people. The people who live there have to approve of the incorporation. So when it comes time for Starbase to formally incorporate, Elon Musk or the SpaceX team is going to have to approach Cameron County. They're going to say, hey, we want to file for incorporation. If SpaceX files all this paperwork correctly, Cameron County is going to say, okay, SpaceX, let's put this up to a vote. They're going to put it up to a vote. They're going to provide proper notice to the people who live there. And the people who live there have to vote in favor of the incorporation. I think it's just by a simple majority, but that is harder than it sounds, especially if there are people living there who don't want to incorporate, which there are a whole number of reasons as to why people wouldn't want to incorporate, especially the people living there now. Why I anticipate Elon Musk is asking for new people to move there or to build there, whatever, so he can get individuals who are favorable to his agenda in the area so they can vote. The second main issue I see is what exactly is incorporated and isn't incorporated by the city of Brownsville currently. Under the municipality code, you have to incorporate an area that is currently unincorporated. And I tried really hard to find where exactly the city limits of Brownsville is, and it kind of looks like it goes all the way down to the border, but I'm not sure. And I'm actually going to check this out when I'm in Brownsville. And if that's currently the case and Brownsville does formally extend all the way to the border, and it's not the outskirts of town, it is the incorporated city of Brownsville, well, there's going to be another step added. Brownsville's going to have to let go of that territory, and it's theirs to let go. So that's probably another step dealing with the city of Brownsville, their city council, all that kind of stuff. And I'm actually not sure of this answer. I am going to go when I'm down there to try to find out more details about where exactly the borders are for the city of Brownsville. But overall, I think it's very interesting to say the least, especially if he's bringing tens of thousands of jobs to the area. I think it could be a great benefit for that area. And as you know, this channel covers law, finance, and freedom. I've been talking about purchasing investment real estate, and that is also a reason why I'm going down to Starbase. I think it could very well be an area with huge upside potential, especially if great infrastructure, schooling, amenities are put into that area. I mean, Brownsville is actually a beautiful area. It is. Southern Texas is gorgeous. It's right next to South Padre Island. I don't know, maybe that's something that y'all have heard of. I'm rambling on. So that's it for today's video. I hope y'all liked it. Short, sweet, to the point, I hope. Please make sure you leave any comments, questions, concerns down below. Make sure you hit that like button. Stick around, watch some other videos, subscribe to my channel if you want. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.